Hello, Gareth Walker here with a little video for the West Yorkshire Football Show with some post-match reaction to Bradford City's victory against Carlisle yesterday, because stupidly I forgot to do it straight after the game. Obviously the underlying current of the game was that we haven't won at Carlisle in 40 years. Bit of a rivalry being sort of generated, I think, more from their side than ours, because they don't really have any local rivals, but it was good to get that monkey off our back and win there for the first time in so long. But the main point from yesterday, or the main takeaway from yesterday, is that we keep the unbeaten run going. I think we're 5 wins in 6 or 7 wins in 9 now, something like that. So the unbeaten run is going strong. Graham Alexander seems to know what his best team is at the moment. He's got Shepherd playing in the middle of the 3 at the back, with Baldwin on the right and Kelly on the left, and then that box midfield of Patterson, Smallwood, Sarcevic and Poynton is going really, really well. And it's really hard for other teams to stop at the moment. Obviously, Kavanagh's leading the line up front in Andy Cook's absence, and his pressing is fundamental to how we're playing at the moment. Leading from the front, the high press. When one goes, they all go. So yeah, just the main thing is that we're keeping the run going and we're playing really, really well at the moment. It's a good goal, well recycled possession outside the box after the initial chance goes begging. I think, other than that, we still had the best chance of the game early doors in the first half when Patterson should score from a Kavanagh cross. Carlisle offered very little, really. A little bit worried going into the game because they had so many new signings, and obviously our record up there is terrible. Our away form wasn't great, so there was always the worry that they'd turn us over. But even with all those new signings, I thought they offered very little. Sam Walker's not had a lot to do, a couple of saves maybe, and that's it. So yeah, the unbeaten run, keeping that going is the main thing. We're getting players back from injury. I don't think there's anyone out now, really, apart from maybe Paul Huntington. So yeah, we have strength in depth. Tommy Lee came on to make his debut. Michael Mellon was on the bench. Brendan Kayler was on the bench. George Lapsley was on the bench. And you're still leaving players out like Verdane Oliver and Jamie Walker. Maybe Verdane Oliver will move on before the window closes. We don't know. There's a chance that we'll bring a striker in, I guess, if he does. I know Tyler Smith's gone, but we've still got 3 on the books at the moment. Verdane Oliver, Callum Kavanagh and Michael Mellon. Obviously, Andy Cook's injured. We're only playing 1 at the moment, so to have 4 might be a little bit much when you're only playing 1. But if Verdane Oliver goes, I could definitely see us bringing a striker in. Graham Alexander's been quiet about whether we'll bring any more players in. I don't think there's anything imminent. It's probably a case of needing players out before we can get players in, I'd guess, to be honest now. Particularly at centre-half, we might be looking. And then, like I say, up front, if Verdane Oliver goes. Personally, I'd like a keeper to come in, challenge Sam Walker. I've wanted that all season. I think that could let us down in the running. But if we can keep this form going, we've got as good a chance as anybody. We're just outside the top 7. But with the game in hand that we've got, we can move into those playoff places, and the auto places are out of reach. Massive game next week at home to Walsall, who were unbeaten in 9. I thought they might struggle with Nathan Lowe leaving and going back to Stoke. He scored in his first game back at Stoke. They were rumoured to be trying to get Freddie Draper back in from Lincoln, who did so well for them last season, but that didn't happen. But they still managed to win 4-2, I think it was, at home to MK Dons, having been behind. So they're going to be a real test next week. They're the best team in the league, or they have been the best team in the league so far this season. But we go into that in full confidence. Great home form on a really good run. Like I say, 5 wins in 6, 7 in 9. It's also up for a massive game next week to try and keep the run going. Onwards and upwards with the West Yorkshire Football Show.